Welcome to my channel. My name is Valerio and today we're going to review the new robot in diecast from Sentinel. This is the Soulgain from the video game Super Robot Wars original generation. This belongs to the line Riobot by Sentinel, which is making quite a few of the main robot from these video games. Now, I bought this one on Gimmick Japan, and I can't tell you exactly how much I paid because I don't remember. I think around $200. However, if you've never bought anything from Sentinel, and especially anything from the Super Robot Wars original generation, get ready for a treat. Now, I think this robot is still available, and before we start, you might find out online there are two versions of this robot. This version here, and another one that is exactly the same robot with some extra accessories that you can get only if you buy from Sentinel website D4 Toys. Now, I bought this one from Gimmick Japan, so there are a couple of accessories less, but I don't care. Moreover, they will release a different version of this robot, which is not an evolution or anything, just very similar robot, which is the Vice Saga, which also that one technically can only be bought on D4 Toys, but I'm sure you can find it also on other channels. Now, let's look into accessories. So there is a lot of stuff. The manual is pretty precise, and before you start to play with it, please look at it. It's not fully intuitive. Now, these are some extra blade, and the Soulgain looks a lot like a Guyver. There is no other way around it. It's a mix between a Guyver and a Mazinger design-wise. So these are some extra blades on the side. You can change the color of the rocket punch on the right hand. This is the golden version installed. It is a different color one, and because as an attack it throws punch as must be. These are two punches that lights up. The battery inside of it doesn't work on mine, and I don't care. I don't like gimmick that much, especially when they're not USB powered. These are some extraction points. It also has hands that can be manipulated, and this is the diadema, the tiara on the top of his head. This is an extra arms with a different color, with the color swap with the golden one. And here we have the extra blade on the sides. They are for both the arms, and there is also a golden one. So the display stand is a bit different. This is one of the latest one that we saw with the Sentinel. After a few years, always the same. They move with an iron peg, and this because one of his mega gimmick is like the rocket punch. It has quite a bit, how to put it, it give out of option with that. Now, it is a strong display stand. And now this is the interesting part. You can swap all of the ball of energy, let's get all the gems on his body from green to red. Initially it would have been a terrible idea, but to do it is pretty fast and avoid stupid like gimmicks that you will never use it. And this way you can swap and decide which color you like to use it. Now we're gonna briefly look at our robot. It is 25 centimeters and a half, which is 10 inches and something. It has a bit of weight. I don't weight my robot because I don't care about it. It gives a nice sensation of stability in your hand, but for after the first 3 seconds, you can see immediately that the quality is not as high as it is for the latest two Riobot that we saw on the channel from Super Robot Wars. So it's a bit less good than Diecast and a bit less good than the Kaiser. Unfortunately, not the Mads & Kaiser. It's much better than the Mads & Kaiser. Now, moreover, its proportions are not great. It looks a bit like a doll in this way. Now, happily, the moment in which you take it out from an A stance, it looks super awesome. But as it is, in a straight position, doesn't look great. It is super stable. You can see the diecast on the joints openly. However, if you are a fan of diecast armor, this kind of stuff, that's not it. Now, it reminds me the Yaldabaoth more than, as I was saying, the Diecast or even the SRX, because the metallic paint looks a ton like it. Obviously, it is masterfully placed over it because this is still Sentinel we're speaking about, and it is one of their strengths. Now, for articulation, this is officially the most articulated Sentinel robot at this point. The head can go super down. So in order to activate the shoulder, the butterfly joint, you have to extract the joint, and it's pretty hard. At that point, you have quite a bit of butterfly joint in order to raise the arm. So please follow the instruction. Don't wing it. Like there are like high caution. A bit for the paints, a bit because I think The joints are friction joint, but they're very hard, and you need to put a bit of strength. So bicep swivel, arm, yeah. It's not as refined as it is with the latest Sentinel. So you can see the joints are just pure metal joints. The hands are incredibly well done, fully articulated, very human-like. How to say, not very robotic, but still very, very cool. And they can take any kind of pose you want to take. As you can see, the shoulder pad can move. Now, for the arm, really look, oh, this is pretty cool. Also for mobility of the upper body. So there is an ab crunch and it's pretty extended. However, it's super hard. You can move on the chest level under the pectoral, under the pecs. Then you can move it a bit on the back and a bit forward, and the gem kind of end up below. You see? Like it can look very, very down. Now for the legs, so you can, so this blue thingy on the side, you can move it up and down, and if you want to walk toward the flip, you need to move it a bit down. It will not do the full split, but I don't think many robots, like I never met anybody that actually posts them in the split. Maybe somebody will say, look at my collection of Van Damme splits robots, but still have to see it. Now back and forward, you see, can still reach quite an okay pose, and obviously it can go fully back and forward within the limit of the articulation. I think you can move it even more, the knee, because I think it's a double joint. But as I was saying before, this is not as refined as the last robot from Riobot, unfortunately. So very, very, very extremely posable, no doubt about it. But to do it with distraction, otherwise it's going to look like, oh, I cannot move it at all. This must be really stiff, and it's not. Oh, sorry, the knee joints are ratchet joints. There are a couple of ratchet joints, not as much as they were with other robots that I appreciate a bit more. Now for the gimmick, other than the lightning punch, this if you brighten up with black light, give me 1 second that I turn off the light, you can see they will turn green. It's pretty cool. I prefer it to LED gimmick. And the cool thing is that if you have the red jewels over it, they will become red, reddish orange. Now let's do a quick comparison. Very, very fast with other diecast robot. But first, Lego Dude Steve is very, very small. There is no surprises about it. Now this is the Takara with Sentinel Hot Rodimus. This is the Mazin Kaiser. So the new one, the Soulgain, is a superior product on everything other than the detail. The Mazin Emperor G has more detail over it. The Yaldabaoth is the closest one to the Soulgain, which is a great robot overall. But I think the Soulgain has more to do with this one than with the Diecast card. Now we're gonna go conclusion, pro and con, if I recommend it or not. Now, for cons, it is a bit limited over the legs, mainly for extreme stuff. Not everybody will be happy with the swapping gem gimmick. Somebody would have preferred 30 different lights that turn on. I'm not one of these persons, so it's a cons for you if you're really into LEDs. For me, it is not. And what else? They're not too much in terms of weapon, because it doesn't have weapon. I think it's a fist fighter. I don't know. I vaguely remember for the video game, I was using like mind attack, but I might be completely off over it. It's been quite a few years. Anyway, so this is for the negative. For the pro, there are a ton of accessories, even though not the classic one. It looks very cool with the gems swapped in red. I much prefer it like that. Once it is extremely posable, as I was saying, this is the most posable Sentinel, the stuff that brings more new things to the table. The paint is extremely well done. You know, Sentinel, when it plays very hard, the hands are incredible to look at. As I was saying, oh, there is the material, there is the size. It's not super heavy, but if you look for a brick of metal, well, this is not it. Now, do I recommend it? If you are a fan of Super Robot Wars, sure. However, there are more important robots into the Super Robot Wars franchise. So if you're like me, that you're buying everything that comes out of it, sure. If not, then you have something else that you prefer. Don't feel you have to buy this one. Either way, it's still very, very well done. Once you pose it, not in an extent is terrible. And for me, it's everything, guys. Have a nice week and enjoy your summer.